Very welcome back to the show. Now, recently, the Hope Foundation travelled to Kolkata with Specsavers to carry out over 1,300 eye tests and to give away 1,000 pairs of glasses to those in need.
Yes, and there certainly are a lot of people in need. Specsavers ambassador Darren Kennedy, he was in the thick of it. He was on with us to tell us that he was going, and now he's back to tell the story. So we are thrilled to have you, Darren.
I made it back.
It's like you were only here yesterday.
I know.
It is. Well, literally, it was only a couple of weeks ago before you headed up. Now, tell us everything. What did you feel?
Do you know, it was the most incredible experience, I have to say. And what I really took away from it is how divided the world is.
Yeah.
In a way, which is kind of heartbreaking on one hand, but so enriching on the other. And just to see these people, met the most amazing people everywhere we went. So really, we were doing the Specsavers eye care, ambulance and hospital, which effectively meant there was a team of us who travelled over. I was one of, I think there was 10 or 11 of us. So there was staff from Liffey Valley, Limerick, Athlone,
and they all gave their time as well.
Stillorgan, they all gave their time, and they're all, you know, these are all business people running their own business. So we had opticians, there was obviously myself, there was other people doing various different jobs. And we, look, I remember that little fella.
Yeah.
So this was actually one of the nighttime clinics that we ran right underneath.
That's the dump, is it?
No. This is underneath a flyover.
Oh, yeah, the bridge.
I
was there, yeah.
And there's a full community there. And the first thing I saw when we arrived was a rat the size of a cat.
Oh, my God.
And these people are just so lovely. I was really taken by these people, especially because I remember someone told me the Hope Foundation had actually found a little boy who I think was 9 months old at the time, but only weighed 3 kilos or 3 pounds or something. And then they brought me to see this little boy who they'd nourished and whatnot. Look, I haven't seen any of this. Sorry, this is bringing me right back. I haven't seen any of this.
But you see there the little children, and you see that they have very basic, what we would call in first world kind of problems, in the sense of cataracts and different things that we don't even have anymore.
We didn't really notice of it. We'd sort it out straight away.
It'll be sorted. Our kids, they have issues, it's sorted straight away. But here, they just go on. It's the last thing. It's the day-to-day, they can't even put food in their mouths. And
do you know what, at one of the clinics, I actually think it was this one, a mother arrived with her child who had a cut, and the cut obviously hadn't been treated. There was no antibacterial, and there was maggots in the cut. And I mean that's how basic the medical care is. And it was phenomenal because the people obviously were so happy to see us. We'd people who'd come back, who'd been there maybe the year before and come back with their glasses to get tested again, and they were kind of telling us firsthand, actually, you know, my life is so different because I can work, I can do X, Y, and Z. And a lot of these people, you've got to remember, might be involved in like very intricate work with fabric and embroidery. So actually, you know,
what they do here. They make clothes. They make clothes for us.
Yeah, I mean, you know, which it was amazing. I mean, what I can say about it now is I think, you know, we met Maureen Forrest on the first night we were there, who's like obviously
she started Hope.
She started Hope, and she said something that really stuck with me now, and it makes total sense since I've come back. She goes, "You are witnesses." And it's like you can never let it go.
No.
And which I'm very happy about, actually, because I feel connected to it, and the people of Kolkata, and there's everywhere you look there's a person.
Had you ever been in that type of situation before, Darren?
Never. I mean, it's beyond anything I've ever experienced.
Like, you can see stuff on TV, you can see stuff in newspapers and radio.
It's hard to explain,
but what's the jump like from seeing something on TV to going into real life and you have these kids in front of you?
It kind of is, it takes a few moments for it to sink in, because again, you are used to seeing these images on our screens, and everyone's busy and everyone's got their own worries and everyone's worried about their own life. I'm like, I get that. And then you go there, and for instance, one of the nights we did a clinic and an ambulance along the Ganges, and we got there and the heat was so intense, the smells were so pungent, like any sort of light attracted a multitude of bugs where you were kind of going, get the DEET out. And literally, where I was operating from that evening, there was a giant rat just sitting there having his dinner, looking at me. And I was
rats are so much more well-fed, seriously.
And afterwards, I realised there was a wall right beside where we were. And you went onto that, it was a train track. So it was a single track, walled in. So either side of the wall, there was probably about 3 foot either side. There was a community, as far as the eye could see, of hundreds of huts where not only were families living, extended families. So you might have 8 to 10 people living in this tiny little hut, no electricity, no running water, and they were within 4 inches of the track either side.
Imagine a little kid running out, and I'm sure it happens all the time.
Do you know what they did at night? So the train stopped, I think, from 10 to 6. Some of the people had pull-out beds and they slept on the track.
No way.
I swear, yeah.
I
And
didn't
you know,
see
they were
that.
the most
Oh my
fabulous
God.
people because, of course, they brought us into their homes and they wanted to feed us and they wanted to kind of share what little they had. Do you know what the other thing that really kind of caught my attention was? Even though, despite the fact there was no water, electricity, no sanitary facilities at any of these communities, most of them had phones. And
they
were
do,
like
yeah.
watching
Even though
YouTube.
they didn't have running water
No,
or
they
toilets,
just-
they still have phones.
And the one word that I think travels anywhere, selfie.
Selfie.
All mad for selfie. And I just thought, isn't it bonkers? I'm like, I can see there's nothing, but yet I can see someone watching YouTube.
I know.
And, yeah.
Do you know, that actually, I found that, but Darren, now it's nearly, I mean, it's probably 9 years since I was there, but I did find that. But can you imagine how much technology has moved?
The simpler phones
Probably
that time.
then,
Yeah.
of course, you know, it would have been very simple, but still people were still very in touch. They even had, another thing I noticed, Darren, they had satellites on top of some of these little hut things. That's what I noticed then when I was there. It was mad. I don't know how they were running that, but some of them were running them off the power
Off the
supply.
power, yeah.
They were.
But how does that work? How does the society function like that?
They
Where
function-
they don't have toilets, they don't have running water
I don't know
yet.
how it does.
They can have
I know.
satellite dishes and mobile phones.
It's
But
weird.
what it is incredible,
It's
though,
weird.
is, like, I don't know much about it, but I know obviously mobile phones can enable small businesses to access money, to run a business in a much more efficient way. What I was really taken by as well was the scope of what the HOPE Foundation do out there. We visited the hospital, incredible work. So we were literally doing the eye tests. People were coming during the day and night, and quite a few were referred the next day in to have surgery. I
Because
mean, you wouldn't get that here. And, you know, no, but you wouldn't. And, you know, it was amazing to see that impact straight away.
It's great, though. It's a wonderful thing that you were involved in. It's a wonderful thing that Specsavers have done, in fairness, because they're doing it straight there. In that moment, the people are there on the ground.
I felt honoured to be there and to be a
Yeah.
part of it. I mean, the Specsavers team here in Ireland raised €75,000 themselves,
Fair play to them.
which
That's
has
an awful
funded
lot of money.
the eye care clinic and ambulance for the next 3 years. So, I mean, you know, we did this week, and we were doing 16, 18-hour days, travelling all across the street and slum communities. We went to the dump. Wow.
Yeah, I said,
I mean,
yeah.
words cannot
What are you talking about?
describe.
This is
They
the
live in the
dump of all
dumps.
dumps.
The
like.
dump of, it's the mega dump
That's
of the
where
world.
they pick out things and sell them.
We
little
were
bits.
driving to the dump,
awful.
right? Now, you could get the pungent smell before you could
You
see
could,
it.
yeah.
And we were going through, and there was a hill. And in my mind, that's kind of like the hill of Tara. I thought it was a natural hill. It's not a natural hill.
No.
It's rubbish. And these people physically live on it. The HOPE Foundation have a school in the dump community. And the amazing thing is, as well, we always talk about, and I'm a big proponent of education, you know, a good education. And we always talk about what a difference in education means. I was absolutely mind blown when you'd see the kids who were with the HOPE Foundation learning English, they could speak, they were getting an education, versus the kids who weren't.
I know.
The difference was a world apart.
Specsavers are going to keep it up, I'm sure.
Listen,
That's their plan.
we've all committed. I mean,
Yeah.
we're in it now. And as Maureen said, it's like you're a witness. You cannot
yeah.
turn your eye to
That's
it.
good.
Can I just say as well, one of the things that I loved, I love animals. I'm animal mad. And I remember a couple of years ago for Christmas, my dad surprised me with a goat, an animal of hope for the HOPE Foundation. I was like, okay, I can get on board. I got to see the animals of hope. So I went to this rural community and the most beautiful people with chickens and goats that they'd gotten 6 years
Brilliant.
ago. And
From
they
Ireland.
breed, they sell, they help them.
Great.
So actually, if anyone's looking for a Christmas present,
Go
There
and
you
check
go.
it
Animal
out.
of Hope.
Darren, we must mention before you leave.
I did a bit of Bollywood dancing when I was over in
Did you?
Calcutta. Yeah, I
Darren,
actually
of course,
did. I actually did.
is going to be on this year's Dancing with the Stars, just in case you guys don't know. There you
look
are in
at
your
that.
flash dance
I feel like you had one of these suits at home anyway, Darren.
Do you know, I didn't have that particular one tie, and the shirt and the sequins and the bow tie, it wasn't really what I was going for. But everyone keeps asking me, how do you feel about the style? How do you feel about what you're wearing? And I'm like, do you know what? I have two options. I can fight against it or I can go with it, and I'm just
But
going
who cares
with
about
it.
what you wear? It's
Yeah.
the steps that you have to worry about. How are
Yeah.
you getting on?
It's tough. I'm
Yeah.
throwing myself into it. I'm kind of like, I'm my own. I've only myself to contend with, and I just want to do the best that I can possibly do. I've zero dance experience, but I'm loving every minute of
Can
it.
you tell us who your partner is? Yeah.
No, I can't tell you who my partner is. I can tell you it's one of 5 people.
Oh, you sneaky noodle.
But listen, I'm having a ball. I'm
Brilliant.
having an absolute ball. I'm getting to do hours of exercise a day. I'm eating like
He
an
loves
absolute
exercise
horse.
anyway. Yeah.
And it's great. And me and my partner, she loves grub as well. So it's like coffee break, lunch break, and we're getting the steps in.
Fair play to you.
Darren, great to see you.
Yeah,
Darren,
you
absolutely
too.
Brilliant.
fantastic.
And the best
Great
of
to see
luck.
you back.
Thank you so
the
much.
The best of luck. Should we be chatting to you
I hope
anyway?
we chat to you later on in the series.
Yes.
The
Well,
I
way,
hope so.
way.
We hope so too.
As we chat to all the people
I
to
hope
get
you'll
the...
vote for me now.
Well, we will, of course.
Yeah, we will, of course.
That's good.
We say that to everyone.
Would you say that
Yeah.
10
Yeah,
more
I
times?
know
Don't
you
worry.
do.
Yeah, 10 more, we have
Chances
to,
are too, yeah.
Listen, head over to Specsavers.ie, of course, for all the information, of course, on Darren's exploits over in India with the Hope Foundation. It's wonderful. It's a great project, as Darren said as well. Take a look there as well if you're looking for a Christmas present or all that to give away.
Yeah.
A goodness one. Thanks,
Yeah,
Darren.
an animal of hope.
Animal of Hope.